Unless otherwise indicated, Ratchet Book Club is intended for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is greatly advised. Welcome to Ratchet Book Club, where we read hood classics and good classics. I'm Derek. 916-633-1537, Ratchet and Ratchet at gmail.com, Ratchet Book Club on Twitter, Ratchet Book Club on Facebook. Trouble next door. 2 years had passed, and Tracy was hanging out with her mother regularly. They went to the malls, parks, museums, and theaters. Tracy grew to love and respect her mother's points of view on everything. Mommy wore nice clothes, so Tracy wanted nice clothes too. They watched television together. They chose Patty's dates together. They did everything together, just like girlfriends. But nothing seemed to satisfy the void of Tracy's father. He still hadn't decided to come back home and stay with them. Beth picked Tracy up from school, and Tracy would stay with them until her mother got in from work. But Rahima's home, although it was full, wasn't as warm and cheerful as hers. Their home seemed lifeless and dreary, even with all of its members. Rahima's older sister, Mercedes, did nothing but homework. She and Rahima went to Catholic elementary school and wore uniforms. Rahima and Tracy would sneak around the house, getting into trouble, and then drag Mercedes into it, making her life miserable. Their father, Keith, was strict and intimidating, so Mercedes stayed moody behind closed doors. Mercedes was 13, and she had matured enough to communicate with boys. Keith would have more than he anticipated on his hands in due time. Young teenagers were starting to walk Mercedes home from school and hang out with friends who lived on her block. "Hey, Mercedes, come here for a minute," a rather plain-looking boy said. He was nothing to get excited over. Mercedes, here we go again, walnut brown complexion, dark eyes, and long silky hair aroused him, though. He thought she was gorgeous. She had the Indian look. Okay, so we're not going to say, the slur for Asian folks when we talk about the eyes, but because she has long brown or long silky hair and dark eyes and walnut brown complexion, that's the Indian look? Okay. Mercedes walked over to him. The boy stood with one foot in the street and one on the sidewalk. Beth was inside the house cooking, and Keith was not expected home for another 3 hours. "Yes?" Mercedes asked the boy, keeping a good distance from him. She didn't like him or anything. She just wanted to see what he wanted. "Come here, I ain't gonna bite you, girl, dag," the boy said with a smile. Mercedes didn't want to be any closer to him. "What?" she asked. "You got a thorough-ass name," he told her. "Hey, Kev, ain't Mercedes a decent name?" "Yeah," his friend shouted from across the street. This would soon, in years, become a light skin, a pretty toes, a brown skin, come on over here, a big booty. Mercedes smiled at that. She was flattered. She waited for the boy to ask her something else. She liked talking to boys, but didn't want to get serious with them yet. The plain-looking boy studied Mercedes' white, blue, and gray uniform. "So you go to Catholic school, huh?" "Yeah, but I don't like it," she said. "You don't?" he asked pointlessly. Mercedes sucked her teeth and answered, "No." "Why not?" "Because I just don't." "Ooh, Mercedes talking to a boy," Tracy squealed, bolting from the house with Rahima. "Yep, we gonna tell," Rahima warned. "Hold up, I'll be right back," Mercedes told the boy. She ran to the patio steps. The two little ones ran inside the house and up the stairs to Rahima's room. Mercedes chased after them. "Why you do that?" she hissed, yanking her sister's arm. "'Cause Daddy don't like you talking to boys." So? Who cares what he likes? I hate him anyway. And you better not tell him either. Did you like that boy, Mercedes? Tracy asked excitedly. No, he was ugly, Mercedes answered. Does he like you? I think he does. He wanted to talk to me. What did you say to him? Mercedes looked down and frowned at Tracy. Dad, girl, you writing a book or something? Well, what'd you say? Tracy repeated. I didn't say that much. He just asked me about school and stuff. Rahima remained silent, with her lips poked out. Mommy, Mercedes was talking to this boy today, and she said he was ugly. Mercedes is talking to boys now, huh? Patty asked while she searched through her closet for something to wear. Tracy plopped on her mother's vanity chair inside the bedroom. Yep, and me and Ra saw her. You did? Patty said, picking out a dark green dress. Yep. And then he chased us. He did what? Patty responded, giving her full attention. I mean, she did. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were out there playing or something. No, me and Ra were in the house. Well, we're going out to eat tonight, sweetie, Patty said, changing the subject. Who we going with? Just me and you, Mom, huh? Patty paused for a minute and gave her daughter a stern look. What did I tell you about talking so fast? I can't even understand you sometimes. Everything that you do, you just have to be so fast about it. Slow down sometimes when you speak. Okay, Tracy perked. Now, Mommy has a date, and I'm going to take you with me. So go wash your hands and face. Patty scooted her daughter towards the bathroom. Okay, Tracy said, running. Patty wanted to establish a family feeling with the new man she was getting close to. If Dave wasn't going to show any consistent responsibility, then Patty was ready to open up her options for a man who would. Paul Gregory was tall, with smooth caramel skin and a mustache. He drove them to a romantic restaurant in his sporty Camaro. The service was impeccable. That was a plus for Paul. Tracy never liked waiting long. The food was well prepared. Paul cut Tracy's steak and potatoes, buttered her bread, and wrapped her napkin around her neck. Patty was impressed with his manners. Then he ordered ice cream for dessert, their favorite. Hey, Mom, he got us ice cream, Tracy said cheerfully. Yep, he sure did, honey. So did you like it, honey? Tracy hunched her shoulders in her tan dress. It's okay, but I like that place where Dad used to take us better. And where was this? Paul asked her. I don't know, but it was a long way, though. And did they have cherry vanilla ice cream there? Paul asked her while winking at Patty. Paul wore a navy blue sports jacket and a cream-colored shirt with no tie. Oh, no, Tracy answered him. We used to get sundaes, Patty said. Oh, okay. Well, we could have gotten a sundae. Would you like to still go get one? Paul suggested to Tracy. He leaned over the table and smiled at her. I don't care, Tracy told him. Patty watched to see if her daughter liked him. They drove to the ice cream store where Dave used to take him. Tracy fell asleep in the car. Okay, Tracy, we're here, Patty said, grabbing onto a limp arm. Stop, Mommy, Tracy whined. Don't you want ice cream, baby? Tracy dropped her head back into the seat. No, I want to sleep. Patty got Paul to pick her up and walk her around, despite Tracy's protests. Patty wasn't quite ready for her date to end. It was only 8 o'clock. Then why did you bring an 8-year-old? I know times might be a little bit tough. I don't know. It might not be tough. Like, he might be sending child support. I don't know what he's doing. But why bring a child on your date? When Nisha and I first started dating, we did not bring our children into it for like the first 4 to 5 months. Because we didn't know if it was going to be something real, and we didn't want to just be running men and women in and out of our kids' lives. You know, so the first time they met each other and met us was at a barbecue for one of my family members. And other than that, they were not involved. Why bring your daughter out as a test? Like, that's not cool. And a late night, too? No, she's going to get tired and be moody, and now you're like, I wanted to have more date? Ugh. I already know what happens next, and it's your fault, Patty. They all sat with their sundaes at a small window view table, where Tracy watched cars zip past them on the highway. Mommy, I wish he had a car like that, she said, pointing at a red 911 Porsche parked outside. Paul chuckled. Wow, she has expensive taste for a little girl, doesn't she? He said to Patty. I'm not a little girl, Tracy responded to him. She started to kick her feet under the table while eating her sundae. She accidentally kicked Paul. "What's wrong with you, girl? Stop that!" Patty yelled, grabbing her daughter's feet. "That's okay. She didn't mean it," Paul interjected. Tracy gave him an evil stare. "I gotta go pee," she said. "You have to use the ladies' room," Patty sternly corrected her. She then rushed, hand in hand with her daughter, to the bathroom, leaving behind the half-finished sundaes. Patty turned Tracy around by the shoulders once they had entered the bathroom. "What's wrong with you, girl?" Tracy stared down at her patent leather shoes. "I don't like them. I want to go home." Patty looked startled. "He's a nice man, honey. Why don't you like him?" "Because he gets on my nerves." "He hasn't done anything to you, girl," Patty said, looking into Tracy's eyes. "Well, do you have to go or what?" "No, I just want to go home." Patty sighed and led her daughter back to the melted sundaes at their table. "Look, Paul, she wants to go home. I'm sorry about this." Paul nodded to her. "Don't worry about it. I know how kids can get," he said, setting a $1 tip on the table. Tracy reached out to take the money. "Put that back, girl," Patty shouted at her. Tracy cracked a mischievous smile. "I was just playing." Patty snatched her by the hand. "Now you're getting on my nerves. You're 8 years old and you're still acting like a spoiled baby." Tracy giggled and climbed into the car for the long ride home. Patty knew that Paul had failed. Tracy didn't like him. It was unfair, but there was nothing that Patty could do about it. She would have to turn Paul down. Tracy didn't seem like any of her mother's dates, and she definitely was not ready for anyone to take the place of her father. "How about we do this again sometime?" Paul asked when they arrived at Patty's front door. She had never invited a man inside the house. Dave was still paying the bills, and Patty gave him that respect. She answered Paul with knifing eyes. "I'm sorry, but I really don't think so." How many dates have they been on? It seems like, the way that they're talking, it seems like it's like 2. Like this is maybe the second or third date, and that's not cool. You don't bring a kid on like your third date. That's not cool. You don't see him bringing nobody with him. "This is my dog, Spot. Bark, Spot." "Well, we'll just leave the girl home next time," Paul suggested. "That's a good suggestion, Paul." Patty unlocked the door. Paul tried to follow her in after Tracy. Patty glared back at him, stopping him before he strutted in. "And what are we going to do? Have a relationship without my daughter being involved?" she piped at him. "No, I'm not saying that, but you and I need a little more time alone before we can work things out with her." "No, that's all right," Patty said. She wished to end the date as quickly as possible, but Paul was making it difficult. "Well, okay. I had a nice time. How about you?" he asked, still appearing cheerful. "Please, let's not get into this," Patty told him. "I had to think about things before I decided to go out with you again, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience." Paul nodded and said, "Okay," as Patty slowly closed the door on him. He paced to his car, finally pissed off. "Damn kid," he mumbled as he headed down the walkway. No, damn Patty, for bringing the kid to a late night. You know what, I already said it. Patty shook her sleepy daughter from the couch. "Wake up, girl, and go upstairs to bed," she huffed. "What, Mommy?" "You just ruined my night, girl, that's what." "You wanted me to go." "You still didn't have to act the way you did, Tracy. Who are you mad at, Patty?" Like, honestly. You're mad at Paul. You're mad at Tracy. You're the one who asked her to go with you. You could have got a babysitter. It would have worked. I don't like this family dynamic at all. Like any of the three of them, I don't like it. I mean, Tracy's a little kid, so I can't knock her. But the other two, I don't like her parents, and that's going to lead to issues with Tracy, maybe, because she's seeing how they are, and so it's going to become a part of her. Tracy struggled to her feet and began a sullen walk up the stairs. Patty calmed herself as she followed her. Tracy's comment surprised her, but she was right. Patty had wanted her daughter to test the man, and he had failed. Plain and simple. That's not cool. "Hey, Mercedes, come here for a second," the boy named Kevin called from behind. He always wore a baseball hat shoved down on his smooth, dark brown face, right above his thin eyebrows. Kevin lived across the street. Mercedes had watched him play football on the street with his friends for years. "So, you supposed to be talking to my boy Wallace?" he asked her. "No, I don't like him," she answered with a frown. "Why?" "Because I wanted your phone number," Kevin told her nervously. He had watched her over the years as well. I can't give out mine, but I could take yours, though. Kevin wrestled out a piece of paper and a pencil from his book bag. That's a bet, he said, writing his number down. Kevin, don't tell your friend that I don't like him, because I don't want him getting all mad at me, okay? Mercedes asked him. She was well aware of how boys acted when they were rejected. Her father had been a good example of that. Keith had fits all the time. Everything had to be his way. Oh, alright. But when you gonna call me? Kevin said to her. Tonight. Oh, bet. Like what time? Like around 11:30 when my father goes to sleep? What? You can stay up that late? I thought you had to go to sleep early. Mercedes smiled at him, bashfully. I do, but that's the only time I could talk to you without my parents jumping down my back because they're real strict and all. Kevin smiled. Oh, so you gonna risk getting caught to talk to me? Oh, I must be the man then. Yep, Mercedes told him with a laugh. So you gonna be up? Yeah, I'll be up. Mercedes grinned. All right then, I'll call you. Kevin nodded and said, Cool. Mercedes walked into the house, smiling from ear to ear. She wanted to show her father that he could not rule her life. She had done everything he had asked and was still punished, getting beatings with her younger sister. Mercedes despised her father, and if Keith had anything to say about her boyfriends, she vowed to make his life as miserable as he had made hers. Mercedes called Kevin that night, and the other nights that followed. She began to smoke cigarettes in school with her girlfriends, buying Wrigley's chewing gum to hide the smell. She collected more phone numbers from neighborhood boys who were attracted to her. She turned down most of the Catholic school boys. Mercedes wasn't interested in them, and in a matter of weeks, she had met enough new boys to become an item. Hello, Kevin, she whispered on the phone. Yo, it's me. What's up, girl? He answered, watching a late-night Benny Hill show. Hey, tomorrow there's no school. You can't talk to me regular? I'm still supposed to be in bed, even if we do have off from school tomorrow, Mercedes told him. Hello, Kevin, she whispered into the phone. Yo, it's me, Kevin said back, because, just in case, you know. Hi, Derek. Yo, it's me, Derek. You know. Dag, that's messed up. Ain't it, though? That's why I hate my father. What you gonna do tomorrow? Kevin asked her. Oh, no. Why? Mercedes quizzed, having a good idea what was coming next. You want to come see me tomorrow? I don't care, she whispered. Kevin then fell silent as he thought of a fantastic idea. Do you have any dogs in your driveway? He asked her. No, Mercedes whispered. Are you still dressed? How long would it take you to get dressed? Mercedes grimaced. Why? 'Cause you can sneak around my basement through the driveway if you're not scared to. I'm not scared, Mercedes told him. She felt sneaky excitement, like an actor in a spy movie. The enemy was her father. Well, are you down or what? Kevin challenged her. Mercedes thought about it. Just do it, girl. Say yeah, she told herself. Yeah, I'm coming. Give me like 20 minutes. For real? You coming? Kevin asked her. He was surprised. He was just trying his luck. He didn't really think she would sneak over to his house at night. Yeah, I'm serious, Mercedes assured him. Kevin cracked a broad smile. All right, then. I'm going to open the back door for you. Mercedes hung up the phone. She tiptoed back to her room, put on some loose jogging pants with her white uniform blouse and a jacket. She walked into the bathroom and flushed the toilet to muffle her escape. She then snuck down into her basement and out the door, making sure she kept it cracked so she could sneak back in. She sprinted around back, filled with elation, and got to Kevin's. Kevin was at his door, grinning like a cartoon cat, awaiting her arrival. I thought you were joking, he whispered. Nope. I told you I was coming, Mercedes said. Kevin's baseball cap was off, and for the first time, Mercedes could glimpse his hair. You have a nice haircut, she commented. Why you wear your hat all the time? I take it off in school, but when I'm out in the streets, I always wear a hat. I don't know why. It's just my thing. I like hats. Oh, Mercedes responded, forcing herself not to seem nervous. Oh my God, I'm in his house, she panicked. She noticed that Kevin looked even better with his hat off. He was a handsome teenager, wearing a high fade haircut with a long part on the left side. Kevin walked over to her and unzipped her jacket. Mercedes didn't move to stop him like she wanted. What, you scared or something? He asked, sensing her tension. No, I ain't, she lied to him as he rubbed his hand up her lower back. Mercedes was a well-developed 13. She got her pert body from her mother. Kevin began to caress her breast with her uniform blouse and leaned over to kiss her. But Mercedes didn't know how to kiss. She puckered her lips to his as she thought it was supposed to be done. Kevin then moved her towards the couch. Mercedes rubbed up and down his back as Kevin ran his fingers through her long, smooth hair. He then unbuttoned her shirt, unclipped her bra, and began to kiss her nipples. Mercedes was quickly aroused. Kevin dropped to the floor on his knees and pulled down her clothes. Mercedes then went for his shirt to undress him. Kevin, stripped naked, laid over top of her in a push-up position. He struggled to guide himself in. Mercedes whispered, "It hurts, Kevin," she moaned quietly as her nails began to scrape his back. And then it felt good to her, the friction and the increased energy. Her body loosened and folded in on Kevin as she squeezed him. "Do it feel good?" he asked her breathlessly. He made note to be as gentle as he could with her. He knew that Mercedes was a virgin. She had never had a boy even kiss her before him. "Yeah," she moaned. Kevin increased his speed, beginning to lose control. He flexed and sucked in air as his body jerked uncontrollably. Then suddenly he pulled himself from her and grabbed the towel that he had sat on the floor alongside the couch. Mercedes watched him as he strained and breathed crazily, and she was upset that he had stopped. "Why you do that?" he asked him. Kevin looked at her, confused. "You don't want to get pregnant, do you?" he asked her with a frown. Mercedes shook her head as he climbed back on the couch with her. "No," she told him. "Well, I had to pull out. I ain't got no rubbers." "Oh," Mercedes responded, realized she had a lot to learn about sex. "That was good as shit, though," Kevin told her. Mercedes began to smile as he cuddled her. She leaned up and kissed his pretty brown face, sparkling inside and planning on doing it with Kevin again, and as much as possible. "Mommy, why do I have to go to Mr. Keith's house?" Tracy pouted. Yeah, so y'all know how I feel about teenage sex being portrayed in books, and this is like underage, but I don't know. Like, I'm reading it and I'm not even thinking about it because I've read this book so many times that it's just like a part of the book. "Mommy, why do I have to go over to Mr. Keith's house?" Tracy pouted. "Because I'm going out." "Oh, you don't want me to go?" "No, because it's Friday and I'm not coming home no time soon. All you gonna do is mess up my date and fall asleep," Patty said, grabbing her purse. "You learn, but you learn too late." "No, I'm not, Mom. I promise. Please," Tracy pleaded. "No, get your jacket and bag. I am not taking you with me," her mother persisted. "Aw, see? I was gonna be good, too," Tracy said with a long face. Patty chuckled. "You're a trip, girl." They walked next door, hand in hand. "Beth, I'm gonna let her spend the night because I don't know how long I'm gonna be out, and she'll only mess up my date. Is it okay?" Patty asked. "Sure," Beth told her. "We're not going anywhere. I haven't been out except for the movies in a long time," Beth said with a grin. "Well, girl, you better do something before you start to rust in here." Tracy ran up the stairs to play in Rahima's room. "What are you doing here?" Rahima asked her. "My mom said I could spend the night." "She did? Yay! We can play all night then," Rahima cheered. "No, we can't, because Mr. Keith's going to make us go to bed," Tracy argued. Rahima piped down. "I know, but we can play when he thinks we're sleeping," she plotted. "Where your sister at?" Tracy asked her. "In her room, sleeping." They went to Mercedes' room. Mercedes was stretched out. She reminded Tracy of Snow White. Tracy decided that maybe Mercedes had been dreaming about boys and needed a kiss to wake her. Tracy looked into Mercedes' face. It was expressionless. Mercedes did not toss or turn, make noises or anything. Her hands were firmly grasped around her pillow, as if she had fallen asleep thinking of holding someone. The two little ones left and went back to Rahima's room. "She probably dreaming about a boy," Tracy said. "Yeah, that ugly boy who was out there talking to her," Rahima responded. "No, it's not him, Ra-Ra. Mercedes don't like him." "Well, that's the only boy she talks to." "You don't know, Ra-Ra, because you don't know who she sees in school." "So? She probably don't talk to nobody in school." "Shut up, because you don't know nothing. You still a baby," Tracy snapped. "I'm older than you. My birthday's before yours. Now," Rahima retorted. "So, Ra-Ra, you still act like a baby." "Where's this coming from? Why? The two faced off and neither would back down. "You can't beat this, baby," Rahima challenged. "You want to bet?" Tracy slapped Rahima in the face. Rahima tripped on her toys and bumped her head on her low-level bedpost. She immediately screamed out in pain. Keith, just in from work, ran into her room, followed by his wife. Beth catered to her daughter. Keith looked at Tracy for an explanation. "The hell is going on in here?" Tracy cringed, but she hinted a smile. "We was fighting." Beth noticed Tracy's gleeful expression and said, "You could have hurt her real bad, Tracy. That's not funny." "I'm sorry, Miss Beth. I just got mad, that's all." "Where the hell is Mercedes anyway? She should have been in here watching him," Keith shouted. She's in her room sleeping," Rahima stuttered, wiping tears from her eyes. "She's sleeping?" Keith asked, baffled. "Is she sick or something?" he asked his wife. "No, but she's been sleeping all day," Beth answered. Everyone followed Mr. Keith in the Mercedes room to see what was wrong with her. Keith clicked on the light and woke her up. Beth, Rahima, and Tracy looked in from the door. "Wake up, girl. Are you sick or something?" Mercedes wiped out her eyes with closed fists. "No, I'm just tired," she muttered. "You're tired? Girl, you didn't have school today. What'd you do to be so tired?" Mercedes squinted her eyes from the glaring light. "Oh, no." "Well, get up. It's time to eat," her father told her. "And you make sure these kids don't get in no more fights." Mercedes felt overjoyed about her secret. Keith didn't seem as smart as he used to be. He wasn't as scary either. He thought he had everything uptight, but Mercedes had proved him wrong. She ate dinner silently. She washed the dishes, pondering over her passive mother. Beth had allowed her father to be God in their house. He's not God, Mercedes thought to herself. She cleaned the floor, the kitchen table, and the refrigerator without a complaint. She then watched television, ignoring Rahima and Tracy. They contributed to her torture. Mercedes was beginning to hate them as well. She wondered how Keith became her dad in the first place. He was too damn mean to have a woman like her mother. What does she see in him, she asked herself. He doesn't even act like he likes us. All Keith seemed to do is pay the bills and control their lives. Patty stayed out late. She picked her daughter up early Saturday morning. Tracy didn't bother to ask her mother how her date went. She daydreamed about her daddy coming over to see them. Dave hadn't been by to see them in a few months. He mailed Tracy's allowance checks to the house religiously, but Tracy wanted badly to see him. Dave added the needed spice to her young life. "So, did you have fun last night?" Patty asked her. Tracy was watching Space Ghost in her room. She was sitting on her bed with crossed legs and her face in her hands. "No, 'cause we didn't do nothing," she pouted. Patty frowned. I know she could speak better than that, she told herself. But she decided to ignore it. She sat down and joined her daughter on the bed. "You didn't?" "No, we started fighting." "Fighting? Why?" "Because Rah-Rah don't know nothing." Patty was confused. "Well, what were you two talking about?" "We was talking about, don't girls sleep in the daytime when they thinking about boys?" "What'd I tell you about trying to talk so fast?" Patty snapped. "Okay," Tracy said with a nod. "What does sleeping in the daytime have to do with anything?" Patty asked her. "Because Mercedes is talking to boys and she was sleeping all yesterday." "That doesn't mean she was necessarily dreaming about a boy. She could have just been tired." "No, she wasn't. She never sleeps in the daytime." Patty pondered the subject. "I don't know, girl," she said to Tracy. Mercedes was old enough to mess around. Tracy could have been right, but if Mercedes was seeing boys, it would serve Keith right. He had tortured her enough, and whatever it was that she was doing, it seemed to be making Mercedes' personality a lot stronger. Patty had noticed a recent glow on her face. Maybe Tracy's on to something. Ding dong! "Mommy, somebody's at the door," Tracy yelled. Patty walked out the kitchen wondering who it could be. She looked through the peephole and was shocked. "Who is it, Mommy? Who is it?" Tracy repeated. Patty finally answered her. "Guess who, honey?" "Daddy!" Tracy jumped into his arms, and Dave kissed her on the lips, spinning her around the living room. Patty watched with a smile. She was still happy to see him, and she still loved him. Nevertheless, he should have called first, she thought. Dave just thought he'd drop by. It was still his house. "So how's my little girl?" he asked, sitting on the couch with Tracy on his lap. "I'm okay, Daddy." "You still talking a lot in school?" "Not a lot before." "You cooled off a bit, huh?" "Yep, because they stupid in school anyway. They don't know nothing." Again, Patty frowned at Tracy's speech. I've been trying to get her to slow down and pronounce her words when she speaks to people, Dave. Dave nodded his head. I see. She wants to talk so much she can't get all her words out, he commented with a laugh. It's not funny, Patty told him. But it's still a little brainiac, right? He asked his daughter. Yep, Tracy answered him with a glow. Patty watched him enviously. She was begging for Dave to say something to her. He hadn't even looked her way. She felt an urge to sit down beside him, but her pride wouldn't let her kiss up. Her nerves pushed and pulled, torn between love and dignity. Then Dave intensified her struggle. So what's your mother been up to? He asked Tracy. She been going out to dinner and stuff. Y'all niggas is childish. Y'all niggas need to grow up. Like, seriously. I know that there's dysfunctional families and everything, and this is a dysfunctional family, ladies and gentlemen. Make no qualms about it. Have no qualms about it. Make no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I don't care how it goes. This is a dysfunctional family from the rooter to the tutor. From the sisters to the husband to the wife to the kids. It's bad. Patty was pissed as well as embarrassed. Now, how is he going to sit in here and ask Tracy that when I'm right in his damn face, she thought to herself. Why not ask me? She said to her separated husband. Dave turned to face her with a seductive smile that made Patty nervous. Well, what have you been up to? He asked. Patty took a deep breath to maintain her composure. She was about to explode on the inside. I got a new job at this abortion clinic. I had enrolled in a night school training program and... Where was Tracy while you were doing this? Dave asked, cutting her off. She was next door. Yeah, Dad, I was at Mr. Keith's house. Okay, but you know what, my little girl? Daddy brought a surprise for you. Patty left the living room for the kitchen, annoyed that he had led her on. Damn, he gets on my nerves, she mumbled. I don't even know why I tried to talk to him. Dave pulled out a small box and opened it, displaying a gold chain to his daughter. Wow, Daddy, that's for me? Tracy asked. He put it around her neck. Yep, sweetheart, it's all for you, all right. Now go show your mother. Again, I read this when I was a kid. I've read it for years coming up. It never struck me at all until this age just how petty this whole situation is. Tracy ran into the kitchen to show it off. Look what Daddy bought me, Mom. Patty looked down at Tracy's neck and felt a spark of jealousy. She couldn't help it. Dave didn't bring her any presents. He didn't even want to talk to her. Hell, she felt like throwing his ass out, but it was still his house. This motherfucker got me trapped. He knows it, and he's toying with me, Patty snapped to herself. That's nice, she told her daughter while hiding her rage. Tracy ran back into the living room and jumped on her father's lap. What'd your mother say? He asked her. She said it was nice. Dave smiled and shook his head. Go tell your mother I got a surprise for her, too. Okay, Daddy, Tracy responded, running back into the kitchen. Daddy said he got one for you, too, Mom. Patty tried to hold back a colossal smile. See that? He fucking with me, she fumed. Her smile exploded through, though. Ask him what it is. What is it, Dad? Mommy said. You tell her I said come here. Tracy loved the message game. She ran back to the kitchen again. He said come and get it, Mommy, she fibbed. Patty slowly walked out into the living room and sat on the couch. She then took Tracy into her arms and held her daughter on her lap. Dave laid back against the couch and waited for Patty to say something. Well, what do you have for me? Nothing. I just wanted to look at you. Patty felt bubbly with joy. Why do you want to look at me? She asked him with a slight blush. Dave sat up and ran his fingers from the back of her neck through her hair. Because you're so pretty. Patty rocked her daughter, letting off some of her swelling anxiety. She was about to ask her husband why he had left her when Dave leaned over and kissed her on her neck. Patty responded, lifting her head. He was touching her passionately for the first time in years. Dave stopped and chuckled to himself as he got up to leave. Patty was frantic. Where are you going? She asked him hastily. She stood up so quickly that she unintentionally dropped Tracy to the floor. Hey, Mom, Tracy yelped. Dave responded with a grin. Calm down, girl. I'm coming back. I'm just going to run out to the bank and get some money so we can go out today. Okay? Is that all right with you? Patty mellowed out with a smile. All right, she said, feeling a bit foolish. Dave still knew how to push her buttons. All childish. Not romantic at all. If kids are listening to this, I don't know why the fuck y'all don't listen to my pleas for you not, but leave a review. And also, listen to this book. And do not be like this with your family. Do not be like this with your significant other. Like, it's not right. It's not nice. And this is not romance. This is not. The Ellisons went out to the suburban Willow Grove Mall. Dave bought his daughter a few new dolls and dresses and a new book bag with bright neon colors. He bought Patty a pair of shoes to match a gold dress she had purchased. They hadn't shopped as a family since Tracy was 4 years old. They sat inside of the mall's restaurant area and ate lunch. Dave looked around curiously while Patty sneaked peeks at his hazel eyes in blissful silence. "Daddy, why do people sleep in the daytime?" Tracy asked with a French fry in hand. "Well, some people sleep in the daytime when they have nighttime jobs. Or you might have a hard day or exhaust yourself doing something physical like playing sports or something." "But what if you're a girl and you don't have no job yet?" Her father grinned. "Oh, in that case, I say she run around with boys at night and tired herself out. Boys can take up a lot of your energy," Dave said, creating a big story to amuse his wife with their memories. Patty beamed across the table. "See, Mom, I told you. Dad knows I'm right," Tracy said. Dave raised his brow. "What is she talking about?" he asked Patty. "She thinks Mercedes is running around with boys because she slept late yesterday." Dave responded, smiling. "Yep, that'll do it." Patty grinned. "Not necessarily, Dave." "Well, as long as you've been living next door to him, that girl ain't did nothing to be tired. How old is she now?" 13, Tracy answered, butting in. Dave shook his head and laughed. "What's so funny?" Patty asked, smiling herself. She was overjoyed to be with him again. Marriage and a child with Dave had created a comfort zone between them that none of Patty's dates seemed to be able to reach. Dave felt the same way about her. After 2 years, he thought he was ready to come home. "I was just thinking about this girl who everyone was after when I was young," he said. "Her name was Rita. Her father was mean too, and that girl did everything she could to get into something." Patty nodded. I knew this girl like that too. She was as quiet as she could be, and she was as nasty as could be." Tracy got a kick out of hearing her parents talk about their youth. She was learning about the birds and the bees much faster that way. If her parents only knew how much and how fast Tracy picked up on things, they would not have spoken so loosely around her. "I know one thing," Dave said. "Keith damn sure ain't the most charming man. I think he must have scared Beth into marrying him." In the passing weeks, Mercedes collected more phone numbers from only cute guys. She had increased her popularity around the neighborhood. She was still seeing Kevin whenever she got a chance, but Kevin was bored with her and started to avoid her calls. Mercedes was learning her first big lesson about boys. Never become a submissive sidekick. "Hey, Mercedes, come in for a minute," said a light-skinned boy named Hakeem. He had spoken to her before, and he was known as a fighter and a troublemaker. He lived on the rougher side of the Germantown in a row house, across Chelton Avenue. Hakeem had wavy light brown hair and sleepy eyes. Those eyes attracted Mercedes. She liked his boldness as well, and he had a voice that demanded attention, so Mercedes remained apprehensive as she walked over to him on her way home from school. "Are you still talking to Kevin?" he asked her. His rowdy friends hung close by. "Yeah," she answered. "Well, you know what? I want to talk to you anyway," Hakeem told her. He looked over her body, imagining what it looked like through the Catholic school uniform. "So what's up with that, Mercedes?" Mercedes was afraid to alarm him. She immediately changed the subject. "Where are you coming from?" she asked pleasantly. She wanted to avoid his question. Her heart was still full with Kevin. "Look, can I get your number or what?" Hakeem pressed. "I can't give out my phone number." "Why not?" "Because my father doesn't allow me to." Hakeem shook his head defiantly. "Nah, I'm not trying to hear that, Slim. Hey, Lou, write my number down, man, 'cause she gonna call me," he said to one of his friends. "Now you better call me up, 'cause I'm not playing with you." Just like that, Hakeem had won Mercedes over. He knew what he wanted and how to get it. She started to imagine what he would be like in bed. He sounds like Keith, or what Keith probably sounded like when he was a kid. And you gravitate toward what you know, even if you despise it. "What time do you want me to call you?" she asked, peeking at his six-pack of friends who were patiently waiting for him. I mean, whenever you get a chance. I ain't in no hurry, as long as you call me this week. All right, then, I'll call you, she told him. She memorized his phone number, repeating it over and over before she tore up the piece of paper that his friend had written it on and threw it away. The word on the street was that Hakeem could box anybody his age. He was her new champion, and he was well respected. Mercedes dreamed up fantasies while doing her math problems. But although Hakeem was a new kid who had jumped into her heart, she still felt for her first love. She refused to let Kevin go. She still preferred him over any other boy. Kevin wasn't as decisive or respected as Hakeem. She just couldn't break his love spell. She crept down to the kitchen phone that night and dialed. Hello, Kevin? Hey, Mercedes, why don't you stop calling me for a while? Why? What'd I do? She whispered. Look, I'm just tired of you, okay? Damn. Why you gotta treat me like this, Kevin? Because we had a little something and now I want to move on. There was a moment of silence while Mercedes thought it over. I hate you then, boy, she said, hanging up on him. I don't need him, she mumbled to herself. She then dialed Hakeem's number. Hello? Can I speak to Hakeem? Who is this? A deep voice boomed. Mercedes, she answered. Hold on. Yo, Punch! The phone's for you, man. Mercedes was amazed that there was so much noise in Hakeem's house after 11 o'clock at night. He would probably have a lot of stories to tell of staying out all night. She could imagine him taking her to adventurous places on the weekends. His crew probably did wild and crazy things every day, just for the hell of it. Mercedes could not wait to be with him. Hello? Hakeem answered. Hi, it's me. Me? Me who? The girl you gave your phone number to. Oh, what's up, girl? What's up with you? Mercedes asked, attempting to sound cool. I thought you was going to call later on this week. Well, I surprised you, didn't I? No, because I knew you was going to call me eventually. And if you didn't, I was going to punch you in your mouth for lying to me. If y'all didn't hear the Kill Bill alarm sound effect at that point in time, rewind and you'll hear it next time. Trust me. Mercedes heard laughter in the background. She suspected that Hakeem had company over, or a lot of brothers. That's why they call you Punch? She quizzed him. You don't want to find out why they call me Punch, he told her. Mercedes grinned. The hell? Mercedes grinned. Hakeem was tough as nails and rambunctious. You got a lot of company over or something? She asked. Nah, my cousin Lou lives with me. Him and my brothers are drunk. Mercedes thought they probably got drunk every night and acted like fools, like her father would do whenever his friends came over. That was the only time Mercedes could stand her father. Keith was entertaining when he was drunk. How many brothers you got? She asked. 3. How about you? I got a little sister. So you're the oldest, huh? Yeah, but I know you're not, she guessed. Nope, I'm the baby, but I'm still the man, though. What do you do to have fun, Hakeem? Talk to pretty girls like you. Mercedes turned giddy as a baby. I'm serious, Hakeem, she said with a huge smile. I told you already, he responded. Psych, girl. You want to know what I really do to have fun? Yeah, Hakeem, tell me. Well, as soon as you come over, you gonna find out, he joked. Mercedes could see that Hakeem wasn't for beating around the bush. He was into cutting down trees. How we gonna do anything when your brother's gonna be there? She asked, starting to play it his way. Oh, they not gonna be in here. Plus, I got my own room. 2 of my brothers stay in the basement. What about your parents? Most likely they gonna be at work when you come over. Mercedes heard footsteps. Hakeem, I gotta go, okay? She said quickly. She turned a light on and got a tall glass from the cabinet. By the time her father walked into the kitchen, Mercedes had a glass of water in her hand and she squinted her eyes to act as if she had just woken up. Hey, girl, you had to get some water too, huh? Yeah, my throat was dry, she said in a husky voice, faking sleepiness. Hakeem was it. Mercedes would give him his chance and he would give her excitement. She figured it was a fair trade for a relationship, and her body would be her ammunition. Hakeem was on the prowl, looking for Mercedes after school that next day. Yo, Mercedes, come here, he yelled after waiting on the corner for her. He was standing with his crew again. I know what you're going to say, and I only hung up because my father was coming. Hakeem walked over to her, smiling with slit eyes. Well, what's up? When you going to come over to see me? He asked. Whenever you want me to, Mercedes answered seductively. Oh shit, I like that attitude, Hakeem told her. I think me and you gonna do lots of things. He reached out to hold her hand. I hope we will, Mercedes responded to him with a smile. All right then, call me tonight, he told her. Mercedes headed up her block. Hakeem turned to go with his friends. Yo, Punch, you sound like she on you, like a champ, his cousin Lou said. Yeah, I know. I like her too, though. At first, I just want some ass, but now I think she alright. She thorough as shit, Lou. Yeah, cuz, she real pretty, one of his friends commented with a nod. Yeah, I know she is, Hakeem told him, grinning with confidence. I'm gonna make her my girl, cuz. Straight up. 916-633-1537, Ratchet and Ratchet at gmail.com, Ratchet Book Club on Twitter, Ratchet Book Club on Facebook. You can leave a review on Spotify. It takes like 13 seconds. You can also leave a review on Podchaser. Copy and paste that into Apple Podcasts, and then copy and paste that into the Good Pods app. You can donate to the show at patreon.com/single simulcast. $1 will get you a ton of content. You can also donate to the show at buymeacoffee.com/sscast or on the Good Pods app. You can leave a tip in the tip jar. Thank you so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all be good. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace. The intro and outro to Ratchet Book Club is by That Kid Garan, and it's called Goodbyes. You can email him at tkgbeats94@gmail.com for more information on how to lease this beat.
This is Single Simulcast.